There's exactly what to look for off of Lily's service game. Anqi not really doing anything special there. Lily getting the opening she wants.
I feel like if Anqi can vary her returns, both maybe play some short balls and some jamming deep pushes, she'll give Lily a little bit more difficulty on that opening backhand. Both players looking a little bit nervous in this first few points. Of course, that's to be expected, playing a match of this significance.
Anqi relies so much on that deep serve to the middle of the table being effective. Lily dealing with it with no problem there. That's an interesting point because in the rally, Anqi really likes to pop that backhand when she gets a chance. There, just a little bit of a shallow shot from Lily, an off-pace shot.
That ball caught the edge.
That's what I mean, backhand to backhand, and she's got a little bit actually of a speed advantage, which is unusual for someone playing against Lily, but she needs to utilize that.
This event has sold out for the second day in a row. We had to bring in some additional bleachers and seats to create some standing room only areas. Fans have really been appreciative of the great table tennis we've seen for the last 3 days.
Both players having trouble with the heavy underspin returns early this match.
It's really interesting here. There's 3 players from the ICC that came here. All 2 of them so far with Timothy Wong and Ariel Xing have qualified for London, and Lily's trying to make it a three-peat, winning this final match. And Lily looks just a little bit more confident on the opening, and when they get into a fast rally, her ball has more topspin, really slowing down Anqi's ability to move it around.
The difference between Lily Zhang playing against Anqi and her teammate Judy Hu playing against Anqi is really that Lily Zhang's backhand opening is a little bit quicker off the bounce, giving less time, as you can see there. Anqi really doesn't have an answer for that. Of course, when we saw Judy Hu playing Anqi, Judy likes to take that ball a little bit later, Anqi having time to set up for the rally.
Now with 7 game points in game number 1 for Lily Zhang. And she takes game number 1 very authoritatively. It's almost workman fashion. Get the first attack and move the ball around and control the tempo.
I think if she continues to play in this confident fashion, it's going to take the next game quite easily.
So one thing Han I mentioned is that often the player who lost the first match will alter her tactics, but we really haven't seen Anqi do anything different than what we saw in the last 4 games of their prior match.
Anqi has the tendency to play a rather one-dimensional game. She needs to have success off her deep serve and follow that up with just quick pressuring play, but Lily having both spin as well as timing, those spins coming so quick off the bounce, and she not able to react so far in the match.
It's really up to Anqi to make the adjustment. Otherwise, we could see a very quick match here. Oh, wonderful recovery there by Lily. Not being fooled on where that smash was going and just staying with the point. There, Anqi kind of controlling that cross-court tempo shot.
Anqi just missed timing that backhand on a very aggressive serve from Lily.
You know, one thing we haven't seen is when Lily gets a lead, she just tends to tighten the noose a little bit faster, where we saw Timothy have a couple of issues. Lily has not had that issue at all. Very strong block after an opening. It's really in control.
Lily's improved by leaps and bounds in the past couple of years, both offensively and defensively. But one area I'd like to see her improve on more is her service return game.
I was just about to say Lily has been so safe with her openings. It's almost been the most dependable part of her game, but that ball went a little bit low and caught the bottom of the net.
She needs to be careful here. She's playing very confidently, Lily is, but Anqi does have a very, very solid backhand-to-backhand exchange capability.
Very strong defense from Lily, but definitely not a position that she wants to be in, as Anqi has a strong forehand of her own and she's putting it into play.
Yeah. Definitely seeing a change in tactics from Anqi this game. She almost is going for broke, knows that she needs to change something, having been beaten so soundly in the previous game.
Lily just has to make sure she works for one point at a time and not trying to make a full comeback by overdoing it.
Anqi's opening is a lot more steady in this second game, especially off the backspin.
Lily had the upper hand in that rally. She was moving the ball around, just caught that last one a bit late.
There's that serve. Once again, little dead serve into the middle of the table. Even if Anqi makes that push, Lily knows that she has the opening. There it is again.
Now we're seeing Lily not only add a lot of spin to the opening, but she's placing it much deeper, going through the ball. Very nice combination there. That forehand loop really set up the aggressive backhand off the bounce.
An early timeout from Anqi Luo's side. She knows that if she goes down 2 games to a player as strong as Lily, she's going to have a very tough time recovering.
You try to give a little more intensity in your strokes. More spin, even more speed, and move. Now select this ball. You may open, but then get ready, or you may push. Okay, this or this. ready to block this ball. No need to finish. Block, keep on playing, keep on table, middle, and then get ready next. Huh? Okay? You serve free, as you like. This one, she's gonna play like this. And ready to move your body. Come on.
There we had Coach Massimo Constantini, former Italian great player and a world-recognized coach, both coaching in Europe and in India, giving Lily some great words of advice and wisdom to try to get back into this game.
An incredible maturity from Lily as a player in that last changeover, reminding the coach to tell her what to do in the next service changeover as well as the next point. So definitely some foresight there.
Wow. Really putting in Coaches Max's words, getting that forehand in, while at the same time being very active and aggressive. Right shot by Lily, just missed narrowly on the execution. I'm sure she's happy to be at deuce in this game with the one-game advantage. Lucky net ball there. Another miss bouncer. Bad bounce.
Lily looking almost bemused by that particular bounce. Not sure how the ball skated on her there, really.
Looked like it caught the top of the net on the way up and then just changed her timing a little bit. But if she can be in that position where she's got the upper hand, right now we're even in game, so there goes that advantage. But it does seem like from the tactic standpoint, she has the ball in her court.
You are playing too much to the backhand. With your backhand, more to the middle. Don't forget. Okay? And forehand, get ready to hit the ball a little earlier. And then play your game. Speed on the table. Spin and speed up. Middle. Switch suddenly. Come on, Lily.
You know, one thing, Han, that I really like when Massimo's giving advice is you can feel the passion in his voice. He's not berating you, he's giving you so much encouragement, but tactically and mentally he's giving you what to do without making it feel like you made mistakes out there.
Also like his emphasis on a few key components, not giving you too much information, really focusing in on what's the most important thing.
As well as sending you out with a positive message that you can do it. Again, a little bit of Bella Caroli, maybe that European mindset of really encouraging the player to take it upon themselves to do the action and not just stand out there.
And she really building her lead in the last game, playing extremely aggressively. Don't know whether she'll be able to continue that. Definitely doing so on that particular point with very aggressive backhand play. That's really her strength.
Coach Constantini said that Lily needed to play a lot more balls to the middle, and we could see that on that last point. While Anqi's moving the ball around, Lily's constantly trying to go for that elbow area to reduce the power and the angle.
one of the reasons to go to Anqi's middle isn't necessarily to win the point outright, but Lily really wants to use her forehand more, get out of these backhand-to-backhand exchanges a little bit, using her forehand to attack more.
Lily just so strong at taking the ball low during these fast countering rallies. Kind of a loose push on that last ball. She really didn't place it that well, allowing Anqi to get the first backhand loop in. That's what we've seen a lot more in their prior meeting, is Lily controlling the opening and then getting a forehand in immediately off the bounce.
There, the ball catching the top of the net. Lily apologizing, but she really needs to get her forehand in a little bit more into play. Gives a psychological edge as well when you're able to attack with the forehand.
I really think that's what Lily's coach, Max, was saying, that she needed to be a little bit more aggressive, more forceful in getting her offense going and not sitting back and waiting and playing off of Anqi's power, but to actually start the action on her side of the net and play that elbow area. Beautiful forehand there. Seems like once you've played the elbow for 4 or 5 shots in a row, it really does open up the wide forehand, because as the player needs to play their forehand from that middle position, they give up angle. Very strong countering plays with Lily, taking a very comfortable 2-1 lead in this best-of-7 match.
That would be amazing if I could qualify to Olympics, because it's been my goal ever since I was a little kid. So to qualify would be a dream.
Not only would it be a dream for Lily, it would be a dream for Erica Wu, who is the highest finishing American right now in this competition, needing Lily to keep this lead on her side to give Team USA that team entry into the London Games, where they will be fighting for singles and the team event. They've eliminated the doubles for a team event. Players must qualify through their regional qualifier.
In the last game, Sean, Lily playing far more backhands into the middle to try to force Anqi to use the forehand. And what that does is it breaks up the backhand-to-backhand exchange, which is really 50-50 in this particular matchup, and allows Lily to get her forehand into play.
Lily is just so quick. After she makes that first opening, you see the counterattacks coming at her, but she is ready for that next ball. And to continue that heavy topspin, even though it's a counter drive, she's really coming over the top of the ball.
There's a strong backhand, putting more pace on her backhand. So Coach Max will be pleased with that, asking her to put more spin and pace on her strokes.
Definitely taking it to Anqi with the offense. Not waiting to counterattack right now.
Anqi continuing to have a great deal of trouble with those heavy backspin returns. Dealt with them better in game 2.
There's a lucky break coming on Lily's side of the court after what we saw the last game finish with a couple of mishits, or at least balls that touch the top of the net.
And she's got to be frustrated there. That forehand barely catching the top of the net and falling back on her side.
Anqi looking really flat at the moment. Just kind of not moving her feet. Body language isn't telling us that she's ready to compete. It's just kind of being out there, wondering what to do. There's Erica Wu counting on her teammate Lily Zhang.
Great change in tempo during that rally from Lily.
Another net for Anqi.
That's what you see good players able to do in the rallies. They're able to dictate the tempo rather than following the rhythm of the opponent's shots.
And there's the forehand that Coach Max also mentioned. He said during that break, and there's Ariel Shing, who also will be in London this summer for Team USA, alongside her potential teammate Erica Wu. Very decisive tactics right there, having no difficulty dictating the play. Now we see to sign one more game for Lily to not only get a ticket herself, but to take some teammates along with her.
So you can go through, but the key, always the key is only one, middle. Please slow down. She may be ready now, she may be ready, but for you, it doesn't change anything. And with your forehand, be ready to play cross-play. Now you have to manage with it. Yeah? You have to start with the same determination. Neutral face. You understand me? Huh? And spinny ball. Spin ball and then you speed up. Middle. Jayo!
So Lily Zhang is one game away from booking her own ticket to London, leading 3-1 against Anqi Luo of Canada in this best-of-7 game match.
Coach Max saying something very interesting during the interval, that sometimes your opponent may be ready for the tactics, but you don't necessarily have to change very much. Persist with your game plan and your tactics. If they're working, you stick with them until the opponent can successfully adjust.
Really to prove to you that what you're doing is something that they can handle. Beautiful backhand down the line. Lily raised her hand. Maybe it was a little bit of a mishit, but it couldn't have been played to a better location.
She needs to continue moving her feet, Lily does, on that particular ball, getting caught a little bit flat-footed. Had the opening. And great spin from Lily. Very quick backhand down the line there from Anqi Luo. He's playing much more aggressively after the first game, really being forced to.
Again, it seems that when Lily can play 2 or 3 balls in succession, she really gets the upper hand. Not only placement, but the degree of topspin she's putting on the ball.
Key is really in the rally whether Lily can slow the tempo down and then speed it up, slow it down, then speed it up, that change in tempo. When she can't do that, and she really is very quick on the backhand side. And they're slowing it down, adding a little bit extra topspin right into Anqi's middle.
Right now, Anqi has to be aware that she needs to play 1 point at a time, not to be thinking about the fact that she's so close to elimination. To stay on the tactical front.
There's Lily's mother, sitting pretty far up in the stands. Gotta be nervous now that Lily's only 4 points away.
I can believe the parents are definitely feeling more nervous than Lily is out there. Now 2 points away.
There's Lily's father as well on the left.
They seem extremely calm for parents at this stage.
In fact, I actually spoke to Lily's father and he said, well, I said good luck, and he said, well, there's nothing I can do. It's all up to the players, so at least they have the correct perspective. But here, Coach Mack's not taking any chances, making sure that Lily has the right mindset and the right tactics to close this match out.
And when you serve this, and she plays this one, don't hit the ball too early. You have to wait the ball. Let the ball come in and then you spin. Huh? Don't go too fast on this side. The side is a little weird and soft. Ready?
Maybe it shouldn't amaze me how encouraging Coach Max is, but gosh, it makes you want to go out there and just play. Really stressing to Lily not to rush, let the ball come to her, but at the same time inspiring her to play her own game.
Great recovery, absolutely great reflex shot from Lily. Now just 1 point.
4 match points, and even Lily saying just calm down using her left hand to remind herself. It's within her grasp. And Lily's going to London with the entire U.S. women's team that participated at the Pan Am Games. Ariel, Lily, and Erica.
And Coach Max absolutely overjoyed that his players been able to pull through. You can see the passion and excitement.
Coach Max brought 3 players from the ICC club to this tournament, and all 3 are leaving with tickets to London. What an amazing job